Hello, world, and welcome back to another transit reading from Beyond the Matrix. My name's Sarah, and today, after my extended break from making these videos, I'm back to talk about Sagittarius because Venus and Mercury have now ingressed into Sagittarius, and the sun will be joining very soon when we begin when we begin Sagittarius season. So as the sun moves through the zodiacal signs, we refer to that as the season. So it's either, right now we're still in Scorpio season, but we'll be moving into Sagittarius season. But before we do, I'm going to talk about Venus and Mercury. So Venus is obviously the planet of love, femininity, creativity, joy, pleasure, and partnerships. So Venus strives for harmony, peace, and balance. All things to do with love, beauty, creativity are Venusian. And then we have Mercury, which is this planet that's associated with communication and transportation, because that's how you move information from one place to another. So any activity, or whether that's mental, because Mercury is very logical and very mental, or if that's actual physical movement from one place to another, that's all representative of, or those are all significations of Mercury. So this is kind of our mind, our mental, our cerebral faculties. Now, when these planets and any planets enter the sign of Sagittarius, there's this energy of expansion, because Sagittarius is a sign that's associated with expansive thought and foreign travel, so expanding out beyond the boundaries. And so that can emphasize the you could say impact of these planets wherever they are in your chart, because these planets are now interacting with whatever for you is in the sign of Sagittarius, be that any planets, points, or objects. So we might feel things are beginning to lighten up. Sagittarius is a very jovial sign. Of course, this is the time of year when we all start to get into the holiday spirit, and that's part of this energy. When we think about signs, we can think about them as what they're opposing, because that's going to create kind of the duality of the essence or the energy. So for Sagittarius, it's very expansive thoughts, higher education, foreign travel, international affairs, philosophy, and like big ideas. Where Gemini, the opposite of Sagittarius, is small ideas, quick action, quick communication, kind of buzzing about, and even kind of shallow with how deep one involves themselves with information. Not to say that Gemini isn't technical, because it's a Mercury ruled sign, so it is very cerebral, it is very logical, but Gemini is a little bit more flighty than, say, Virgo, who's very meticulous and looking into the details. So I just wanted to provide a little bit of contrast by mentioning Gemini. It's relevant, but not necessarily to Mercury and Venus moving in, only to the extent that Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. And it is now moving into its fall because it's opposite its home sign of Gemini. However, Mercury doesn't perform poorly in Sagittarius, as is the case with many planets that find themselves in their detriment or their fall. With Mercury moving into this sign, there might be some expansive thoughts, expansive communication, expansive travel that's coming into whatever house it is where Mercury is in your chart. So together, Mercury and Venus kind of have this creative idea essence to them. They feel together they're going to be coming up with creative solutions to perhaps philosophical issues or logistics on travel. It could be anything like that. And it's really going to be dependent on where this falls in your chart, within which house Sagittarius resides over. You can probably sense into areas of your life where you're noticing a weight being lifted. While it might not be solved just yet, in fact, there might be a lot still to sort out, and that might be what Mercury and Venus are going to be assisting with, is the process of distilling those big Sagittarius ideas into something beautiful and creative and maybe even informational. With Venus and Mercury moving into this position in Sagittarius, they are trining Jupiter and have been in a trine actually with Jupiter as they were leaving Scorpio. And of course, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So the state of Jupiter right now is going to tell us a little about the environment within which Venus and Mercury are moving into. So Jupiter is in its other home sign of Pisces. And Jupiter in Pisces is very spiritual, very ethereal, beyond the veil. So there may be some support here, just based on the fact that Jupiter is in a dignified position in his home sign of Pisces and in a trine to Mercury and Venus, which gives them a little support because Jupiter's not in a bad place for Jupiter. So I see this as a lot of maybe even dreams coming through, and they give us a creative spark or some piece of information that you glean from philosophy or higher education. So I think I'm going to leave it there for Venus and Mercury entering the sign of Sagittarius, and I'll be back tomorrow with another transit chart reading. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again real soon.